Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of How Did This Get Booked? I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning. I'm a veteran of the professional wrestling business for over a decade, and I've held every single job except selling popcorn. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, White Sox enthusiast. Not really a fan, maybe enthusiast.
Well, don't turn your head around now, asshole.
I'm just trying to stay safe, man.
A man who starts beefs in the Manning cave.
Yep.
A man who I take along on my journey of watching subpar professional wrestling, Zane Riley. How are you doing?
Fantastic, Jake. How are you? You're back. I'm not talking into a shoe this week.
I appreciate you for calling me out on our meager recording accommodations last time.
No problem.
It was a bit of a snafu. That's why I came out a little bit late and later in the day, but we still got it in. Right. I mean, HughesNet didn't quite right. My parents said they had fiber, and I started uploading stuff. I go, nope, you don't have fiber.
You sure don't.
It's like when you have a Blu-ray player, but you use RCA cables.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't really have Blu-ray.
This isn't how that works.
That's not how this works.
Yeah, this was a coax. Get out of here.
Yeah, so my parents said they had fiber. They don't really have fiber, so it took a little bit longer to get the episode in the places where it needed to be and up and on, whatever. We got it done. It's out. Whatever. No more dead grandma jokes for this episode.
Well, I don't know.
We might sneak a couple in. It's still pretty fresh.
By the way, his grandmother died right before we recorded the last episode.
Oh, he should know. And the person that should know is our guest today, our non-wrestling fan, Jordan Centry. Jordan, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I just also want to say up front, I don't even like baseball, so like.
Oh, so even fucking worse.
I don't need you to pick a fight with me after the show, man.
Fair enough.
I'll root for the White Sox if it makes you feel better.
Man, it's cool.
All right, just making sure.
I appreciate your bandwagon jumping, man. It don't bother me none. I love it.
Well, listen, Zane doesn't even like baseball. He likes drinking during the day in the sunlight. That's what
well,
he's making
if
a
that
fan.
counts, then I love every minor league baseball team in the country.
Oh, there you go. Then hell yeah. We're gonna go to some games together.
Jordan's
you
a
the Knights.
Yeah, Jordan's a regular Bob Euchre over here.
Thirsty Thursdays, man.
Hell yeah. Those drinks for $1.
Exactly.
We had a place in Gastonia, where I'm from, a little town outside of Charlotte, and they would have all-you-can nights. For like $12, you would buy a ticket, and you could have all the hot dogs you wanted, all the chips you wanted, all the Coke you wanted, and all you could drink beer. And so we would do that every Tuesday. Oh, it was amazing. It didn't last long. It lasted a season. And then sometimes they would fuck up and do double headers on those Tuesdays. Oh. Both games counted, brother. You never leave, they don't fuck with you.
That's insane.
Yep. We are the Florida of North Carolina, though. So
that's a good way to put it, actually.
Yeah, that's good. That's most definitely a good way.
Gastonia man.
You and Fred Durst.
Yep.
Wait, is that true? Or is
that's
real. Fred Durst is from Gastonia.
Yeah, man. Went to the same. He'll say Jacksonville, but that bitch is lying.
Yeah.
We went to the same high school.
Yeah. So.
At the same time, I'm far younger than he.
Mm-hmm. That brings back memories, man. I remember that song he had called My Way with Limp Bizkit. It was like the soundtrack to one of the pay-per-views back in the day.
Oh, brother, in that box over there, I have the CD.
Do you?
Because
liquid chocolate-covered starfish?
Yeah, I got it in the box right over there.
Oh, you brought your CD collection home?
I brought it home because there's some good tracks on there. You know, Marching to Mars from Sammy Hagar. You know, all kinds of great classic hits.
Guys, welcome to our new podcast, music and stuff.
Yeah.
How did this get recorded?
God, he's way better than this than I am. I'll give you the Booker T seat. You switch with me. You're doing way better at this than I am.
But Jordan, like I said, you were on here because you are a non-wrestling fan. But when I discussed you said you were a fan for a short period of time in professional wrestling. Right. So you still do qualify because there was a short window. But what was your window into professional wrestling as a child?
Right. So my window was pretty much middle school. That's pretty much it. Yeah, man. It was like a tradition in my house. I would come home from school on Mondays. My mom would cook me an entire DiGiorno pizza for myself.
Hell yeah, man.
Fucking right. That's the way you watch Monday Night Raw.
I would watch Monday Night Raw.
God damn
And then she also used to do it for like Thursday night for SmackDown, but then I was getting like way too fat. So she made me pick between Mondays and Thursdays, and I like Mondays better.
You stayed true.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night was salad night, huh?
Yeah, so
basically.
So Vince Russo was pissed because he had to write 2 shows instead of 1. Jordan was pissed because he's getting fat.
Yeah, because he only got 1 pizza instead of 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Way it there, Vince Russo.
So was it just WWE at the time, or did you dabble in WCW?
I did. Personally, I thought WCW was like the bootleg version of WWE or WWF, whatever it was called at the time.
Okay, rightfully so.
Some people might be offended by that. I don't know.
And you lived in Charlotte, North Carolina?
No, I lived in. Okay, yeah, I see something. But
You
no,
and me are not meant to meld.
I lived in a small town, North Carolina, called Stoneville.
Okay, but it was still in North Carolina.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is odd
born and
because for a
raised.
while, like I mean, always in the southeast part of the country, WCW was seen as that's where the real wrestling is, and WWF was a fucking clown show.
Nah, never liked WCW.
There you go.
Wow,
Never.
I can see that. You know? I mean, I guess I guess there were people below the Mason-Dixon line that weren't pissed that WCW went out of business.
I guess, and also kind of like at the time it depended on what kind of cable you could get, and then what you were doing on your Saturdays because it was only coming on Saturdays. So for WCW, so if you weren't around on Saturdays, Mondays all you got.
Well, you had Nitro on Monday.
Yeah. Saturdays I was watching like cartoons, like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, I guess I'm thinking about a completely different time period. Never mind.
I didn't know anything ever came. I only knew them come on Sundays. I knew they had Sunday Night Heat, which was like the most trash wrestling show ever. It was like a 1 hour show, and they would have like 2 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It leading into pay-per-views, it was pretty awesome.
Well, yeah, those episodes were.
All the other ones are just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it was a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, just a bunch of Stevie Richards matches, right? Like that.
Just get me on Monday, man. You probably didn't get pizza on that day either.
No, hell no. I just got Doritos,
But,
which isn't the worst, but
which is like the pizza of the chip world.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Sunday Night Heat is the Doritos of the junk food genre.
Okay.
Okay.
And then pizza's the Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
So what's Thursdays?
What's Thursdays? Is it spaghetti? Spaghetti Thursdays?
Nah, I had to cut back on Thursday.
Yeah, you cut back. I think you cut back on carbs.
It was like grilled chicken on Thursdays.
Grilled chicken on Thursdays.
Yeah.
All right.
That works.
Which still, all right, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we get.
But it ain't Monday night, guys.
It's definitely Monday night.
Hey, the DiGiorno pizza, rising crust. Ooh.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh, it brings back memories of mine.
What I'm gonna do when I go home? I know I'm gonna stop at the store and give me a DiGiorno.
As you should. I got one in the freezer right now.
Shit, yeah, it's Tuesday. How did that thing make it past last night?
Well, I don't know what you guys consumed while we watched this particular show we watched, but it most certainly wasn't a DiGiorno.
I actually had a lasagna and a whole bunch of alcohol.
I
Keeping it in the Italian family.
Well, I hope that made this pay-per-view much more enjoyable to watch, because the topic of discussion today is the AWA pay-per-view SuperClash III, which took place on December 13th, 1988, and took place at the UIC Pavilion in Chicago, Illinois. Would you like to take a guess on what the attendance was for this event? So
I know this answer. So.
You know this answer. What would you say was the attendance on this event?
Let's just go with...
Which is tough because it's very blacked out.
That's exactly.
So
the arena holds 10,000 people.
Yeah, the arena.
I'm not gonna say 10,000.
Okay.
Just hit your little
just to let
Geiger
you
counter.
Yeah.
I'll go with 4.
4,000.
I'll say 4,000.
Oh, you are giving a lot of credit to 1988 AWA. They drew 1,672 people in an arena that holds 10,000 people.
It's
and
like a Jessica Simpson concert.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like that time that 50 Cent bought all those tickets to Ja Rule's concert.
Yo, I love that.
Isn't that fucking awesome?
Yes.
God. Yeah, you can make money, but it don't fucking matter. You made my money. Hope you're happy.
Exactly.
As I was reviewing my notes, because it's been a while since we've watched a show, it felt like a lifetime ago since I watched a show, because I watched it before Louisville SuperCon, and which was only like a couple weeks ago, but a lot of shit's happened. And I was reviewing my notes, and it just popped in my head that this pay-per-view is headlined by Jerry the King Lawler. Only 1,600 people attended it. But, like, I was just on an indie show with Jerry Lawler that had over 2,000 people at it.
For that outdrawn AWA.
Yeah, and this is Jerry Lawler in his prime as a world champion, and yet he's not drawing more than 1,600, but yet he was just at an indie show that had more people at it.
And that guy's had a couple of heart attacks.
Longevity.
So I guess like a fine wine, Jerry the King Lawler has aged appropriately. But to let you know, this is the only pay-per-view that AWA presented and broadcast on pay-per-view. It is the third SuperClash. The second SuperClash took place at the Cow Palace in San Francisco in May of 1987. and it was solely an AWA show, and that show drew 2,800 people. But would you like to guess, Zane? I don't know if you know the answer to this. SuperClash 1, which took place in Comiskey Park in Chicago.
Oh, White Sox Stadium. What's up?
In September of 1985. So same city, 3 years prior. What would you say the attendance was for that show?
In a baseball stadium?
Baseball stadium.
Holy shit. I'm going to say 10,000 people.
You would be only halfway there.
Whoa.
20,000. 347 people attended SuperClash 1. Now, that was a co-promotion between NWA and World Class, and that was at the time that they were doing the Pro Wrestling USA to combat Vince McMahon taking over the wrestling world. So all these major promotions got together, tried to start their own large promotion, and it fell apart because everybody had one of their own champion over on everybody, which is kind of the situation we're in here with SuperClash. But yeah, it drew 10 times more people just 3 years earlier.
But then 1 year later, they draw like a fifth of the people. So
what happened? First SuperClash must have been terrible.
Yeah.
But
well, man, we really fucked up by coming here.
But like I said, much like SuperClash 1, SuperClash 3 is a co-promotion between World Class, CWA Memphis, and the Powerful Women of Wrestling, POW, if you didn't know, an offshoot of Glow.
Powerful Women of Wrestling?
Yes.
POWW?
I see is a POWW.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
You're right. But
they're wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, like, that's what they say.
Did they make powerful and women like one word?
Yeah, like powerful women.
Yeah.
Hyphenate that shit?
Maybe. I don't know how they're doing it.
McClain, motherfucker.
Yeah. It's just an offshoot of Glow, which I think with ladies, in-ring, professional wrestling, they changed it so many damn times, and now they've landed on WOW. Yeah. So, like, that, it just...
Yeah, that company's still around today.
Yeah. So, basically, it's just changed the names. Because of different money marks that own it at the time. But Dave McClain has always been the driving force. So, let's see.
He messaged Queens of Combat to tell us.
He being Dave McClain.
Yes. Pronouns, pal. He messaged us saying that he has rights to the color purple.
The movie?
No. The actual color purple that we use for our canvas and our ring skirts in Queens of Combat. He told us he owned that color.
Wait, you can trademark a color?
Brother thought so.
How much is it to get the color green?
I know, man.
How much is it to get the magenta? That's got to be an easy buy right there.
Ain't nobody fucking around with burnt orange.
Or burgundy? Oh, you could get burgundy on the cheap.
But yeah, but our response was basically, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because nothing ever came of it, but he was like, this is, we own this color purple. Get the fuck out of here. You're not Prince.
Yeah, if anybody owns the color purple, it'd be Prince.
It's totally him.
Which would be now Prince's family, who...
The estate of Prince.
The estate of Prince.
The estate formerly known as Prince.
Fucking right it is. God, that's good.
See, I told you he's a winner.
This kid, you're going to be the new third host. We're just going to start bringing other people in.
Yeah, we're just going to keep... Yeah, we're going to cycle you out, keep him,
yeah.
keep Jordan, cycle Zane out.
Yeah, and now we got somebody new here.
Exactly. Maybe
Welcome to season 2 of How Did This Get Booked? I'll be like when June can't make it to How Did This Get Made. That's what'll happen. You're Rafi, and I'm out.
Yeah, let's work it that way.
Just tag me in.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're a tag team partner.
There we go.
Before we get into SuperClash 3, let's talk about SuperClash 4, which took place in April of 1990, which drew 2,000 fans. And
Took a year off?
Yeah. Well, that's SuperClash. They just kind of like, we need a big show. Let's just call it SuperClash.
Okay.
SuperClash 4 wasn't even recorded.
Yeah.
So just let you know, give you an idea that we are coming up the roller coaster, and this is most certainly the beginning of the down of the roller coaster.
It sounds like the roller coaster started at the top and just went down.
Yeah, actually, you know,
and last
it was just
one
the
little
fall.
last bump, and it was like there.
Yeah. So just I want to get all of the lineage out about SuperClash.
So it's more like one of those plunging rides where it just drops.
Yes,
fast.
it goes right up and just straight right back
straight
down.
Tower of Terror situation.
Okay, and then a little bit of a bounce up.
Yeah.
So,
But still end up at the bottom.
You still end at the bottom. Either way. But let's start at the top of the show with Lee Marshall and that amazing fucking mullet and mustache game he's got going on. What do you think of the commentators right off the bat, Jordan?
Oh, man. The commentators were everything that I expected them to be.
In 1988.
Yeah. I mean, it was everything expected to be. I also like the warning message that you showed right there at the very beginning of the pay-per-view. When it said this is shown true to form and everything. I was like, somebody's definitely dropping the N-word on this one.
Oh, man!
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I know I can read through that code. I know what they're saying.
I've heard this before.
Yep.
And of all the people that you saw on this show, who do you think would have been the one to say it? Every fucking one of them.
You know what? I would say the dude that was fighting Jerry Lawyer. With the real curly hair.
Kerry Von Erich?
Yeah, because he just looked like he was an Aryan.
Hey.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, just...
There's only one Mona Lisa. There's only one Man Tower Pizza.
There's only one superior race.
Yeah,
like, that's exactly what I was waiting for.
Yep,
right there.
And, man, that's all it is. Zing, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. One superior race.
See, I was going to say...
And there can only be one world champion.
See, I would just say Kerry would say, just like, because he's so fucked up, and he would just, oh, man, I didn't mean to say that. But no, I think you're right. You already have a little bit of intent right there.
Yeah,
there was some intent right there.
Yeah. Hell yeah, good call.
All right.
I wish they were all like you, man.
Yeah, no shit. Like right off the bat. We got to wade through a lot of them. We got a blockbuster of a guest.
71 episodes later, we found him.
And we found him. We found our third man. Looks like we found more than a third man. We have to run down the entire list of paramedics, ringside officials, announcers. Like, I don't know why this is on the pay-per-view where they're just listing. I was waiting for them to start listing people in the front row. Like, just
here's everybody that had reserved seats.
This person's part of the athletic commission. This person's this. This person's that. Yada 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 yada. But that gets us to match number 1, which consists of the Guerrero brothers, which consists of Chavo, Mondo, Hector taking on Cactus Jack and the Rock and Roll RPMs. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this match?
I loved how the Guerrero opened up with the barrel rolls. Like, that was very intimidating. I mean, honestly, would you try to fight a gymnast?
Nah, man.
I don't think I would.
Nah.
Yeah, like if
you
you've
go
already
step to me with rolls, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
You've already like go fight somebody and they just rolling around.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what angle they're gonna come at you at.
Yeah.
You know, like normally in bar fights you just come straight. No, if this guy's rolling backwards and sideways.
Yeah, if you're still sober enough to be able to do that, I know that this isn't going to go well.
I'm gonna get real fucked up, man, by this guy wearing bandoleras right now.
We start off right out of the gate with a Tennessee two-step, which I know got your attention right away.
Brother, I was in right away.
Yeah.
It's funny, George had just did the podcast with George, and he had just got done talking about the RPMs and about why they were even there.
Well,
It was just because there was some deals going on with they wanted their own Rock and Roll Express, and like Rock and Roll wanted too much money at the time, so they went ahead and created that team, and this is both of them after the situation had occurred.
And they're on the same fucking show.
Yeah.
Which I think is just the weirdest fucking thing ever. And like the Rock and Roll RPMs look like the dad version of the Rock and Roll Express. Yeah. You know
what Ricky and Robert became before they are right now.
Yeah. Well, Rock and Roll RPMs are the dad version of the Rock and Roll Express. Rock and Roll Express today is the grandfather version of the Rock and Roll Express.
Yes.
So like let's make that very fucking clear.
Another little roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I was looking at their like spandex they were wearing, and I was like, I've definitely seen that print on like every Lily Pulitzer notebook I've ever seen a sorority girl have in college. Like I recognize that anywhere.
Can't make my way through a notary store without seeing that.
Exactly. I was just looking for the sorority letters.
Now, I gotta ask Jordan, because you did watch WWE for a short period of time. Did you recognize Cactus Jack and who he is?
Oh yeah, Mankind.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right,
Boom.
right off the bat.
Don't step to me with that shit.
Yeah.
All right,
Get outta here.
making sure.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
Listen, our last guest didn't know the difference between Godfather and Papa
Papa
Shango,
Shango.
so like we had
And loved both of those guys.
and loved both of those guys, and didn't realize that Papa Shango's now pimping hosts. You
It's
know,
the same person.
Same person. Mike Enos is the referee, who later becomes a wrestler and AWA Tag Team Champion. So this is him starting at the bottom, and then he's a guy in the
Hot
ring.
shit a little bit later.
Yeah, and he's the guy who's wrestling in the ring when Scott Hall walks down to the ring for Nitro. So getting to see a monkey pile. They missed Mondo's dive.
Yeah, a real cool spot to go to the whatever's ever happened with the finish in the ring, really.
And finish, and then match just kind of happens. Any thoughts on the opening match at all, Jordan?
Other than like, I always find this one weird move where they take their forearm and just kind of like slap it over the guy's forehead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't understand what that's supposed to do.
Weird punch.
Yeah,
Weird
it's
heel.
weird. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if you're sitting way back in the top in the nosebleeds and everything, it doesn't look so weird. But on camera, it catches it real awkward. Yeah, it's trying to hit their hand at the same time, and yeah, you're right. It does look fucked up.
Wrestling secrets of wrestling, professional wrestling.
You're welcome, man. Anybody can fucking do it.
Yeah, it's funny watching it as being older now and noticing all the punches that definitely didn't connect. And I was like, yo, has it always been this bad? Or was I just really that blind as a kid? I just didn't notice.
Bit of A, bit of B.
Yeah, a little
the camera work is really where they take care of a lot of that.
Did get better, probably.
Yeah, and obviously this is not the A crew. This is not the
Larry Zbyszko right here, Bubba.
Yeah, exactly. I was more thinking Kevin Dunn, but if you want to go Larry Zbyszko,
I want to go Larry.
I didn't realize Larry Zbyszko did such a job mixing the shows. I didn't realize Larry Zbyszko was like me today, where not only did he wrestle on the show, but he also edited the show.
No,
he's okay. So
I learned that he was Greg Gagne's son, or Vern Gagne's son-in-law.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I found that out today.
So did I.
When I was trying to remember what the fuck the show was. I watched the show like 3 weeks ago, so.
Okay, yeah, I watched it just before you did, so it's been a month.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
So that's why it's a little herky and jerky right here. But what was not herky and jerky was an interview with Nina, which, as we know now as WWE Hall of Famer Ivory. She's one of the POW girls, and they're hyping up this. Let me get this straight. At this moment in time, it is called the Beverly Hills Street Fight Lingerie Battle Royal. Now, the name of this name fucking changes.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It's all over the place. Like, it is the $10,000 street fight lingerie battle royal. And then it turns into the rip your clothes off POW battle royal. Like, they never say the same match name, more than once.
Which is convenient because lingerie never shows the fuck up.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking,
They're just
too.
fucking hanging out in their biker clothes.
Yeah.
Peggy Sue's tits about to come out.
That was the more heavy set one, right? Okay, yeah.
Peggy Lee Leather.
She looks like a Peggy Sue, though.
Yeah, we'll get to that match and we'll sprinkle that in as we go. But let's get to match number 2, which is a world-class light heavyweight title between Eric Embry and Jeff Jarrett.
Fuck yeah.
What are your thoughts on this match, gentlemen?
There was a lot of spinning.
Yep.
Yes.
A lot of spinning and turning. I feel like if that happened in today's age, someone would definitely turn that into a dance on Instagram.
Okay.
I can see that going viral.
Hell yeah.
Like the hip toss.
Yeah,
push.
pretty much. Yeah.
Camera lock.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of that going on. What were your thoughts? You seem
I
very
fucking loved it. I just had this conversation about how Jeff Jarrett is just basically the most untouchable man in wrestling. And regardless of every fuck up he hits, motherfucker's still making money somewhere.
I know, right?
Just making it done I just decided not to come to work today at WWE. I'll be back a little bit later. I'm going to quit coming there again, too. Still okay, still unscathed. I'm going to get real fucking drunk a whole bunch and fuck some stuff up. It's all right, man. Now he's running Fight TV stuff, and brother is untouchable.
I know. He's like...
And good for fucking him,
yeah,
man.
all the bridges he's burned and the shit he's done and just fucked up.
I just built my own bridge, man. It's cool.
Yeah, it's inspirational for people that just like...
or complete fuck-ups.
Complete fuck-ups. And this is the very early of his career.
Mm-hmm.
For him, I still love the story of when Stone Cold Steve Austin was Steve Williams and worked in USWA, and he got a very less than desirable paycheck from Jerry Jarrett, Jeff's dad, who was was the boss of USWA, and Steve is just staring at the check, and Jeff, the promoter's son, the boss's kid, who's obviously not starving like fucking Steve Austin is at this time. Jeff Jarrett walks up to Steve Austin and sees him staring at the check and looks down at him and goes, "Hey, you staring at it's not going to make it any bigger." Like a fucking asshole. And then years later...
and just struts off.
And then struts in the WWF. And like, oh shit, you're the biggest fucking act in the world right now? Oh, shouldn't have fucking said that when I was 19 years old. Like a fucking asshole.
Staring at you ain't going to make this any better.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm sure when he gave Willen to give him the stern that was real.
Yeah.
That was probably real.
That motherfucker grabbed him around the throat and just
held it. You stay here.
Yeah. Stay.
This is mine now.
But we're not going to stay on this match very long. Just very short. Just kind of fucking happens.
I love Eric Embry too. I
yeah.
love his old shoot interviews about just rats.
Yeah, it just talks about fucking rats.
Yeah.
Who could imagine that Eric Embry had some game back in the day? Like,
rats are like
groupies.
Yeah, wrestling groupies.
Yeah.
Like, girls that just love fucking. They called them ring rats.
Okay, yeah, you look confused. Like, dude fucked rats? Like,
Yeah,
That's not going on right now.
But he looks like a dude that would fuck a rat,
yeah.
right? But,
yeah, that's why you weren't shocked by that. Like, yeah, that dude would definitely fuck a rat.
Ring rats was a term for women, like the groupies of wrestlers back in the day.
Yes.
You had one in every city. You fucked them, they let you stay at your house.
Just one. For the whole wrestling
every city.
group.
Every city. Oh no, like you had your own in each city.
I got you.
That way I go lay it down. You let me stay the night, and then I make my show the next day somewhere else.
Yeah, and
maybe you'll drive me.
Pay for stuff, especially in Memphis when you got someone like Steve Austin just staring at a check, waiting for it to get bigger.
Yeah.
You know, like those things.
I gotta fuck somebody so I could eat tonight.
Which, leave it to fucking wrestlers to come up with the most fucking derogatory term for somebody that's actually taking care of them the best.
Yeah.
Like, leave it to wrestlers to fuck it up. Like, you couldn't call them princesses. You couldn't call them angels. You couldn't call them anything.
Or at least mice.
Something.
Or something, some sort of term of
Something a little
endearment.
bit more flattering.
A Fievel. You know, whatever.
Oh, my Fievel over here.
Yeah,
she's great.
Yeah, she's great. Whatever.
Yeah, you know.
But something that isn't whatever is an interview with the terrorist.
No, it's still whatever, man.
Any thoughts about the terrorist?
When she came up, I was like, oh, that's what that message is about. All right, now, okay.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't going to say the N-word. You were
with
just
that
going
one.
to...
Okay. All right, well, I feel a little less tense now, but at the same time, damn, that's racist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then she was the one of the girls portrayed in the Glow actual documentary.
Yeah.
It's, what would they call her in that one? They didn't call her the terrorist. Did they?
Beirut.
Beirut, there you
Beirut. Well, not the Glow documentary, the Glow TV series.
TV series.
Yeah, but whatever.
The knockoff.
Gotcha.
I just wonder, like, how much do you have to pay somebody to go along with that?
I bet these bitches were rolling in it.
I don't think they were.
Back then?
I don't know, man.
I don't think they were.
Yeah?
Oh, I don't.
I guess just the promise of TV time and what they thought their careers would become after the wrestling aspect.
Yeah, because that
was kind of Stockholm syndrome them into wanting to keep going.
Because that's what they did with the early Glow and the POWs and stuff like that. They took actresses and you know, struggling actresses and like, hey, if you show up and kind of learn how to take a few moves and learn how to give a few moves, we'll put you on TV. Yeah. So anybody starving for attention, and as hard as it was to get on TV, where now it's like, I can put myself on YouTube, you know?
True. Okay.
Instagram, viral, what's up?
Yeah.
I saw Jeff Jarrett do this move, I'm going to do it to dance.
Yeah. But let's keep this rolling right along with match number 3. We won't be here for very long because it consists of Wayne Bloom taking on Jimmy Valiant.
Man.
It was a couple seconds, I believe, was this match.
I love Boogie Woogie, but he looked like fucking shit right here.
Especially with the patch in his back where he missed like a tan spot, I think. Like,
you lay on a pillow, Bubba?
Yeah.
I could have watched this fight like 3 times, and an ad would have still been playing on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, just not a lot to say about it other than Jimmy Valiant wearing the same exact gear today as he was in this match.
Yeah, still.
So
had to get it shrunk down a little bit, but
yeah.
I read the story as to why he was even there.
Why is that?
He was still Crockett, and then he was in AWA. He was with Crockett, and then Dusty took over, and he was like, I want this to be specifically done in your match, and I want you to specifically say this in some of your promos. And he just didn't do either of it. He just did his normal Boogie Woogie thing. Next week, gonna make up for it. I need you to do this in your match, and I need you to do this in the promo. Fuck that, I'm Boogie Woogie. Does whatever the fuck he wants. Dusty just went ahead and fired him. I don't need you, motherfucker. Did not see that one coming. And he ended up in the AWA looking like ass.
Oh, Jimmy Valiant.
I love him so much.
I know. Just like
he's still around. He still wrestles.
So
really,
he's 76.
Something. Yeah.
72 or 76. I looked it up the other day.
Yeah, he's wrestled like for how many decades? Like more than anybody else.
Them.
Yeah, all of the decades.
7.5.
You know, it's crazy how much longevity wrestlers have. It's like as long as you don't like overdose on something, it seems like you're gonna be around for a while.
You can still get spots places.
I mean, fuck, Ric Flair today is saying he can take bumps and he's ready to do him another match. That motherfucker was dead.
Yeah,
wasn't he just in the hospital?
He was in a medically induced coma, and they weren't sure he was coming out.
Yeah,
and motherfuckers like kicking out like, all right, I'm back. Let's let's start taking bumps again.
Kicked out of the coma.
Let me over here and start doing 400-pound deadlifts for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Like, brother, I can't deadlift that much.
Just, yeah, longevity.
Yep.
Yeah.
We just allow it to happen.
Enough drugs have calcified into his body that certain things can't hurt him.
But let's get into another person that has a lot of longevity. An interview with Bambi and your favorite person, David McClain.
Fucking David McClain. Another one of my favorite people is on this show too that I've just got an email from recently.
All right.
Talk about her when we get there.
Okay. We will. Once again.
No, I looked at Bambi. I was just like, you know how you can just look at people and just tell that they're gonna try meth one day. That was the look I got from her. Not that she was already doing it, but that it was going to happen very soon.
But not that she wasn't also.
Yeah, well, Baby's a sweet woman, all right?
I'll say she looked clean then, but I saw the downfall coming.
Yeah,
But
you can see it in her eyes.
I'll tell you what, Bambi has looked the exact same for
really?
decades. Yes, she
Still?
still looks like she does right here in 1988.
She did that good math. She just did it once. She tried it and like, you know what? Not for me.
Yeah. You know what? That might be the one thing that people get mad about is us talking bad about Bambi.
Yeah.
Like because she's a sweet woman and you guys are besmirching her name. So I will stick up for you. Send all your hate mail to @Zane Riley.
Yeah, please, because I've never met the lady.
Yeah. So. But once again, pumping up the $10,000 Beverly Hills POWW Lingerie Street Fight Battle Royal.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, we've added another thing to the title. But let's also add another match to the show in Brickhouse Brown taking on Iceman King Parsons in the Texas heavyweight title match. And you can see them kind of walk out at the same exact time together.
They
at the same
both
time.
got the while we were away entrance.
Yes. Yeah, I thought that was very odd. I have in my notes here it basically says wrestling was much simpler then.
I thought they were tag team.
They were.
Out.
They were at what
in
time?
this situation.
In this situation, yes.
I thought they were. This is the tag team now.
No.
Oh no, they're wrestling each other. What the fuck is going on?
So what were your thoughts?
I was just like, they would have the two black guys fight each other.
Yeah.
Like, you know how they were giving titles to each match? I was really waiting for them to say the separate but equal match.
Here's the N-word coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Except for 3/5 of a fall. Like, I was waiting
Oh! Damn.
I told you he was the right guy for the show.
Fuck yeah. He's the right guy for every show.
I know. Jesus. Just fucking crushing it. I like Iceman calling Brickhouse Brown Outhouse Brown.
That was good.
That's
like
good.
That was
And then, of course, Iceman doing his catchphrase, which he says his mama says it bees that way sometimes.
It bees that way sometimes.
So, dig that.
Sometimes it is like a bee, man. Shit.
Anything else we can say about this match?
They also had like a little breakdance battle too. Did y'all notice that?
Oh yeah, because Brickhouse kind
like,
of do a little thing. Because Brickhouse actually used to be a male stripper.
Jake Manning is insanely versed on the life and times of Brickhouse Brown.
I know that man quite well. Actually, I talked to him a few weeks before he passes away, and it was very emotional to me. But I've had many run-ins with Brickhouse Brown. Most certainly memorable. Some of them unsavory. Definitely memorable.
You could let him in on as to why, because this way it just sounds like you guys had sex for a little while and you guys kind of broke up.
No, we did an interview series with him, and he basically, I turned the camera on, and he just committed slander the entire time. Like he slandered
every wrestler you ever liked. That got fucked in his spot.
He basically like told every fucking salacious story he could think of about every wrestler, and then when like we said, all right, you've told every story you possibly can, we can't pay you to do interviews anymore. He goes, I got some more, and he started just coming up with stories about Michael Irvin, Charles Barkley, Deion Sanders.
What?
Talking about like women having sex with Deion Sanders' feet, like all kinds of just.
You know what? I believe it. I believe that.
Prime time.
It was prime time. You can
Prime
do
time
whatever you want.
foot.
Well, Primetime got to like satisfy at least 4 women at this time, and he's just like, hey, hop on my feet.
Get that foot.
Get that foot.
How do you do it?
Yeah.
How do you satisfy 4 women?
Yeah. Must be the cuticles.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever they call your toenails. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah,
Do you have anything on Kane? That would hurt.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
He probably made it up though.
Kane was my favorite wrestler.
Oh,
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
Hey,
Kane with the mask. With the mask.
That was someone else's favorite wrestler like an episode or 2 ago. Was it See No Evil episode? That was.
But that was just you and me.
No. Okay, then who was someone around that one? Because they were like, yeah, Kane.
That might have been Mike Busick when we did Survivor Series 1999.
Maybe.
Yeah, Kane getting all kinds of love on this podcast.
Yeah, he ton of it, and he's now a mayor.
Mayor of Knox County.
in Tennessee.
No, I think I dared read that.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. Well, he never won the world title, but I guess that'll be a
He actually
replacement.
did. He beat He beat Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Wait, seriously? I don't remember that.
Yeah, and then he also in later years, he won the world title when he was on SmackDown.
Do not remember that. All right.
Brickhouse tried to give King Parsons some type of neck breaker backslide thing and just dropped that man on top of him, almost killed him.
Yeah.
That happened.
Actually, Brickhouse, what was he? He didn't have the title. It was all Iceman. So,
Yeah,
right?
it was
okay.
Iceman.
But Brickhouse did hold the Texas heavyweight title, and he refused to do a job. Dropped the belt to Gary Young, and basically said, "I'm not dropping the belt to that Ronald McDonald looking motherfucker." And the way they had to get the fucking Texas title off him was, while Brickhouse was in the shower, they had a referee go into Brickhouse's bag, steal the belt, and then say on TV that Brickhouse lost it at a house show. Like, that's basically how they got the belt off him. So Brickhouse always said, I lost the Texas heavyweight title while I was washing my ass in the shower. So got to get at least one good Brickhouse story in here. So.
And if you need some more, you can check out Jake's other podcast,
10 Bell Pod. Do a whole almost 2-hour-long episode on Brickhouse Brown. All the stories.
Wait, you have 2 wrestling podcasts?
I do. I'm a very busy man. So,
Right.
yeah. None of the podcasts are good. So just let you know, like, that's how you just like do a bunch of stuff. You don't have to be good at it. That's the key.
We both have 2, but together they make one good one.
Yes.
Your 2 and my 2 together make a good.
Yeah, between
4 quarters make a dollar.
Yeah,
that's right.
Between us, we have 3 wrestling podcasts, but we only have one good one.
Yeah,
that's how that works.
That's conversion.
That's conversion. But let's go ahead and converge on this next interview with Larry Nelson, with Pocahontas and Brandy May. Basically, the whole reason that this battle royal exists is because Brandy May got her cut off jean shorts tore off.
Yes.
Apparently, that's how we're setting the stage for this $10,000 Beverly Hills POWW Street Fight lingerie battle royal.
So are these pants worth $10,000, and the winner gets to buy a pair of $10,000 cutoff shorts?
I'm not even sure, and I'm definitely sure that Larry Nelson was not listening to a damn word these women say.
Women are crazy, dog.
Well, Larry Nelson, at the end of this interview, after these girls were basically laying out the whole story, the actual plot of this match and why it exists, and Larry at the end of it just goes, "You sure are gorgeous." Like,
Can I sniff your butt?
As soon as the camera's off, you know Larry Nelson's asking that.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Will you girls step on my face, please?
Yeah. Or hop on my feet, whatever you want to do.
I heard Dion does it this way. Will you sit on my feet?
But what we're going to do next is talk about match number 5, which is an AWA tag team title and AWA women's title match, technically. It consists of Bad Company and Medusa, with Diamond Dallas Page taking on Top Guns, Ricky Rice, Derek Dukes, and Wendy Richter. What were your thoughts on this match?
It's cool, man. I just like seeing Pat Tanaka in this one.
Yeah, Pat Tanaka's
I love fucking Pat Tanaka, man. Just like seeing him. The match wasn't bad, and the girls were going at it. They were fucking hella workers. Those 2 girls were working their ass off way better than the girls in the Rumble later.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I also like Wendy's outfit. Like it looked like my nana's old glam photos from back in the day.
Her camera shot.
Yeah, felt right at home seeing that.
I love Wendy Richter's work too.
Yeah. I was in my notes. I got this match is nuts. Mostly because there's a moment where Medusa gets spanked and she no sells that.
Yeah, I don't think she knew that was coming. She was real hot about it.
Oh, she was real hot, but she ended up slapping Derek Dukes for spanking her. Then she slapped Pat Tanaka for just being in the vicinity of that happening. You got that shit
because you was with them.
Yeah, exactly. And then goes off at Diamond Dallas Page, and I guess the Top Guns are the tag team champion now.
Yeah,
it's just explodes. Explodes. Also, too, The terrorist is around the ring, just hanging out by the ring. So I'm like,
oh, that was perfect to bring her up after the whole explosion.
Yeah,
I see what's going on here. Yeah, there you go. This is teamwork.
Look at that bald head mustache. This Nazi motherfucker.
Listen, the same warning that's on this pay-per-view at the beginning of this podcast.
It says it on the door of the Manning cave.
Mm-hmm. You should print that out
on the door.
You know what? I just might. I'm redecorating the house.
Totally
I just might. Whatever happens here is a different time.
Oh, it just says it was a different time, man.
It was a different time.
I see what they're doing though. They're like expressing all of the stereotypes through women.
Yeah,
I see. There's a strategy here.
Yeah.
So they feel like they're empowering women.
No, the opposite. Yeah. Women got nowhere near as much respect back then, so they knew they could get away with it.
Okay.
See what's going on.
Oh, okay. I see. I see the angle we're going here. All right. I could buy that. Yeah. So. Now we're going to get an interview with Jordan's favorite wrestler, Kerry Von Erich, where Kerry talks about there's one world, there's one Eiffel Tower, there's one Mona Lisa, there can't be two world champions.
And there's one superior wrestler.
So, as we discussed earlier. But we haven't discussed earlier is match number 6, which is for the currently disputed international TV title, which is vacant at the time. The match takes place between Greg Gagne and Ronnie Garvin. And Greg Gagne is booed out of the fucking building.
Fucking hate Greg Gagne.
Yeah, a lot of people will agree with that sentiment. What were your thoughts on Greg Gagne in this match, Jordan?
I don't have any on that one.
Okay, that's about how people feel about Greg's career.
No, that's dead on.
Yeah,
Ron Garvin, fucking beautiful, great man. And
fucking right he is. Sweetheart of a man, too.
Yeah, hell yeah. It was real weird because usually when I use the network, it's only for like 88, 89 Crockett TVs. Mm-hmm. So I just see Garvin on there all the time, just beating the shit out of people. Mm-hmm. And then like he punches fucking I was kind of there. Like I was just kind of watching this match. And then he gives fucking Greg the punch. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, it's over. And then Greg kicks out. I lost my fucking mind at home just because the way they build it, like no one ever kicks out of the punch. And oh man, lost it for a minute. Mm-hmm. Then I had to explain to Maureen why I lost my shit. She doesn't get it.
She didn't understand the beauty of Ron Garvin.
Bitch works for NWA. Doesn't understand it.
Yeah, Ron Garvin, former NWA champion. Yeah. And actually, I believe he won it in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Or he was the champion at the time. So I'm a little rusty on that. So whatever, but that's okay. The referee was rusty on the fact that there's supposed to be a 10 count, but he actually counted everybody out at 6.
There you go.
So how about that? And I guess Greg Gagne is the new TV champ, I guess was the
rule. Garvin didn't do that job.
Yeah, exactly.
See, this started to get confusing after a while. I felt like there were 3 Intercontinental champions. There was like 2 world champions. Half the women got a belt. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it's all these different promotions, and they put all these title matches. So every promotion has like 3 different championships. Yeah. So when you put them all on a show of 12 matches, they all the matches have belts involved. Yeah. So,
also one of the things is did he cut his Chicago Bears?
I have it right here. I have it right here, word for word, and we'll definitely discuss it right now because this interview is actually of legend, as you probably already get into. Greg Gagne cuts an interview post match where he says, "Ron Garvin is a good athlete, like the Chicago Bears, but tonight I was the Minnesota Vikings and we steamrolled the Bears." The legend has it this interview was cut off of subsequent video releases and replays of this.
Which is why it says this is released in its original material. Original format.
So it wasn't saying the N-word, it was just shitting on the Chicago
They would have
Bears.
left that in there from the beginning if you watched any of the Attitude Era on there.
Yeah. So
but they added that part back in.
They put it back in. Because for a long time, the legend was that was taken out because Vern felt that was a heelish promo and Greg was supposed to be a babyface, but Greg was like upset that the crowd booed him because they didn't like him, and because Greg was a Minnesota guy, he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna shit on the fucking Bears because NFC Central fucking
what up?
Keep
pounding this motherfucker.
So yeah. There's a little piece of legend. So when I originally did my initial research on this, I'm like, oh, I'm probably not going to see this interview. And then I saw it back in. I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay, I'm glad this is seeing the light of day. Mm-hmm. So,
and obviously distressed and disheveled Greg Gagne.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck him.
Who we definitely want to say fuck. We do not want to say fuck you to is Jerry Lawler in this interview. Okay.
Nah, I love Jerry Lawler.
I love Jerry Lawler as well. I love in this interview where he talks about Kerry Von Erich protecting his leg, to which I wrote down in my notes, no shit, because he lost a foot.
Yeah.
And that was a hidden.
He lost his foot.
Was a well-kept secret at the time. Kerry Von Erich got in a motorcycle accident and actually lost a foot.
Big, like almost all of it, or was it the whole thing?
Oh, he lost, I think it was like all his foot. I'm not exactly sure, but he definitely lost basically his foot, if not part of it. And he had like a special thing, and it was in his boot, and he still wrestled with it. But he didn't let anyone know that he was basically out there wrestling on one foot. So
Wow.
I thought that was a very interesting thing. And actually, I think there was even a legend of somebody like they were working over Kerry's leg and they pulled it off, like the prosthetic, and then had to put it back on like mid match.
Yeah.
I think it's a good, interesting little story there. But I thought that was the one thing that stuck out with this interview right here.
You ready to hear some fucked up shit, buddy? I did some research this show.
Well,
right.
Good, because I'm stumbling bumbling through this whole thing. So go right ahead.
So
carry me home, Papa.
You want me to tell you how much of a cocksucker Vince McMahon is?
Oh, let's hear it.
Oh, let's hear it.
Yeah.
So Vince thought it'd be hilarious to go through one of the Chicago athletic commission books, and one of them says that an amputee is not allowed to compete in sports sanctioned by the athletic commission. Well, one motherfucker's missing a foot on this show, so he puts in a claim with the Chicago Athletic Commission, and they go ahead and set a hearing the day after SuperClash. And he says, "Oh fuck that!" So he goes to Chicago and demands it be moved forward before SuperClash. And basically, the judge's decision was, this shit's fake. They can do whatever they want. But Vince took all of his time and money to do that, and it didn't work.
Oh, I like that they said, "Oh, this shit's fake," but yet, "Oh no, we have to make sure that we list all of the paramedics and all the athletic commission at the front of the show and let them know it's a regulatory body because we got to make sure we get our taxes from this."
Oh, of course.
So
your part's fake. My part still needs to get paid.
Oh yeah, the paying part is most certainly real about the athletic commission.
That money's real.
That money
Bring it
is
over
most
here.
certainly real.
Which is also questionable as we get further into this.
Especially this next part as far as the money goes, because match number 7, the $10,000 Beverly Hills POWW street fight, rip your clothes off, over the top, lingerie battle royal, which consists of Nina, Pocahontas, the Terrorist, Brandy May, Bambi, Peggy Lee Leather, Malibu, Lorraine Lynn, and Luna Vachon. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this match that has been pumped up to no end throughout this entire show?
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you had women from all walks of life in that ring. You had the woman that looked like she worked at the truck stop, and you had the one that looked like she just got off her shift at Wells Fargo with the blue dress. And, I liked it. It was very versatile. I also found it weird that, like we said earlier, it was a huge lack of lingerie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at one point,
I think I saw one bra the whole time.
And
it sure wasn't on Peggy Lee because she wasn't wearing one.
Exactly the thing I was about ready to fucking say. I have it written down like Peggy Lee is the fucking MVP in this whole goddamn thing.
Her tit is the MVP. That thing's like, no, I'm not coming out, man. I got a hold.
Yeah, she's right in there like a tube top, just right in there. We ain't coming out. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make you think we are, but we're not. Like that's the true MVP of this entire fucking match. But yeah, I was just I wrote in my notes. I was like, would a 16-year-old me think that this was sexy? Because as a 36-year-old man, I do not.
I did not think I would even then.
I was definitely grossed out by just what we're doing here.
Yeah.
No, it is. At 16, I probably wouldn't think it was sexy, but I'll probably still look.
Oh
yeah,
hell yeah.
I
I would not jerk off to it. I just wouldn't be whatever, man.
Yeah, I mean, just
at one point it just it becomes so lax that he just goes, "That's right, a girl could get thrown out over any someone could get over the top, so just through to the middle." And
well, somebody who did get over the top rope was fucking Luna Vachon.
Hell yeah!
God damn, she's
that
amazing.
Go.
Yeah,
God, I love her.
Fucking best. The fucking best.
Also an episode of Tim Bell Pod.
Absolutely. Also, too, like, the terrorist, gotta say, go Hawks.
Go
go Cyclones.
Go
Like,
Cyclones.
she is, out of all of them, she's the one that's...
She's the one that did it for you?
She's the one that did it for me.
Yeah,
I gotta say, out of all of them, like, that's, that was the one that really got me.
We all know you have a thing for women of color.
Women, women of a darker skin tone than my own, which is basically fucking everyone.
Yeah,
that's
which is some just tan white women. It's just
exactly.
really kind of.
It really, yeah. I mean, Peggy Lee Leather falls in that category as well, and so does Bambi. So,
I mean,
and don't get much wider than those two.
Yeah, except for you.
Yeah, except for me. A fan gets kicked out in the middle of this match, which you see somebody being escorted off.
Okay, do y'all think that was real or was that
fuck yeah,
that was real?
Yeah.
Some guy got overly excited.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Somebody got a butt grabbed.
Some fucking North Sider. We got all fucking drunk and just.
You know what? Maybe it was all you can night.
It was all you can night.
It was all you can night.
Some goddamn Northsider comes down there.
They probably would have thought it was a South Sider, but no, that was some fucking North Sider that fucking came on down. That wasn't a South Sider. South Sider would have been all the way to cheap seats. That was a fucking North Sider that was at ringside.
Like, Brian Sandberg forever.
Yeah, it was one of those fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Fucking probably wore an Andre Dawson fucking t-shirt or something.
No World Series winning motherfuckers.
They
Gotta go.
They won one. They won one.
Well, yeah, not at this point.
Okay.
Not by the time of this.
Well,
happened.
they won years prior, like
30 years later almost.
Yeah, 30 years later, but also to like in the history, like the.
Well, yeah, like it would have been 70 years prior.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever.
Stay out of here.
Whatever.
No.
It was a North Sider. Fuck
So
'em.
now you're just gonna be a Cubs apologist. That's what we've turned to.
Listen, I'm a Click apologist, and I am a Cubs apologist.
Wait, so are you from Chicago?
No,
Like,
I'm not. I mean, I was a fat first.
He's
baseman.
just looking for a fight. That's all it is.
Okay.
I was a fat first baseman when I was a kid. I just love Frank Thomas. And
Yeah, he also has a lot of opinions about Israel and Palestine
Yeah,
too. Like
yeah.
any major conflicts,
Who you
Zane's
like?
jumping in on. You
North
know?
or South Korea, bitches, let's go. Got some hot takes on that one.
North or South Dakota?
Oh man, fuck North Dakota.
Let's jump.
I don't
into
know what you think.
Yeah. Usually,
I'm back on the other side now.
No, come on. Any state that's like the South or something is usually like the terrible one.
Yeah, no, that checks out. Yeah.
Yeah.
South Carolina's horseshit.
That's what I'm saying. There's a big difference between North
Yeah,
Carolina.
we're talking
and South
about you
Carolina.
guys. I don't give a fuck about you, Columbia. I'm looking at you.
Fuck no.
Jake's not even allowed to wrestle there anymore.
I'm not. Nor do I want to.
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh, can I hear the story? What do you do to get banned from South Carolina? Like this has got to be crazy.
Is it a podcast story or is it an after podcast story?
Oh no, we can tell it right now.
Oh, I know you can, but like, is it as juicy as? We're building.
We're right there. Basically, I had an issue. But we'll keep it as vague and keep it as direct as possible.
I mean, it's not like they're going to come get that money anytime soon.
Exactly. I had an issue come up with the South Carolina Athletic Commission,
Uh-huh.
and they basically fucking harassed me. And to get them to fucking leave me alone, I signed a piece of paper that said I fucked up, and the only way I can fucking wrestle in their state again is if I stand in front of their committee and just throw myself in front of them and show that they actually have power over people. And I'm not willing to do that because I've seen them fucking shake down people that make $20 at a fucking indie show, but then I've seen them like, oh, Billy Gunn, Matt Hardy, you don't have to pay the athletic commission. You don't have to get a scheduled physical. No, we'll just allow you to wrestle. A guy who's making several $100s or over, $1,000 or $2,000. No, we'll fucking just push you right along. But the guy who's making $40, we'll give you a fucking hard time. We'll impose our fucking will upon you. And that's basically where I stand on that. And fuck them. I have no interest in wrestling for them. So.
All right.
Some hard takes.
That's a hard fucking thing.
You got to stay on your morals.
That's where I stand right there. So we basically went Broadway on the whole situation. I won't fuck with them, and they won't fuck with me anymore. So there we go. Anyways, somebody who I would love to fuck with.
Fucking segues, man.
They're hard sometimes, and
I get it.
And sometimes they come off as insensitive and kind of sexist.
Yep.
Let's talk about this Luna Vachon interview.
Hell yeah, man. Let's.
because she's the fucking best.
Yes, she is.
And I love how Medusa just walks into the frame and puts a snake on Luna mid-interview.
I found this snake in the back. You want it?
Yeah, like that's big. I was like, I don't fucking know. Like it was almost like Medusa walked by. I'm like, oh, here's a snake. Here you go. Like I don't know. It was the most random
looks like
shit.
she could do something with this.
Yeah, it was the most random shit ever. So,
that wasn't even planned. She just wanted more
Yeah,
camera time.
I'm gonna get this bitch with a real good rib. I'm gonna throw a snake on her during the promo.
yeah, and Luna's
And
just
she's like,
take it.
Kept her cool.
Maybe ate that snake at one point. You don't even know.
Yeah,
She put that snake back.
probably just fucking snapped it.
God.
Handed it back to Medusa and said, "There you go."
You go, bitch.
So, we get to
Medusa
see.
was the other one that I had the email with.
Oh yes.
She again.
You want to put out some personal business as well?
Yeah, fucking who cares, man.
All right.
All right.
Medusa, lovely lady. I like her a lot.
Yeah, I've never had any issues with it.
I worked a couple of her.
I know Caleb likes her, or she likes Caleb.
Hey, keep that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Put that out in the world. Mm-hmm. I was her handler at StarCast, and then talked to her a good bit. Talked to her a couple times. 2 or 3 weeks ago, got an email from her. Again, over Queens of Combat. God damn it, everyone, calm down. One of our logos has like a Queen's crown and Queens of Combat under it, but at the top of the crown is a little, you'd say, cross or whatever, just whatever's at the top of crowns, like nothing religious, but it says Q of C.
Because those are the initials of Queens of Combat. And you believe in actually accurately using acronyms
Yes.
as opposed to POWW.
Yes.
So,
Powerful women.
yes.
PO.
Yeah.
Or just P, really, in this. So anyway, she says that she has the trademark to the letters Q of C. That is a trademark that she owns, Q of C. Now, she doesn't. I looked it up. She does not. What she has a trademark on is Queen of Carnage. Completely different. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so got a nice little email from her, roundabout ways. Got it 2 weeks ago at WrestleCade.
So, there you go.
And then I think the resolution was that she eventually messaged back and she goes, but it might not be that big a deal. And that is all we've heard.
There we go. We're getting some legal knowledge here on this episode
Yeah.
of how to
Let me tell you about my fucking week, guys.
So
Let me tell you about the two famous people on this show that are trying to steal my goddamn thunder.
Dave McClain and Medusa.
Fucking Medusa.
So you've almost been sued twice. This
Yeah,
month.
exactly. Well, the man that
See, I've settled my
Monday,
legal
yeah,
action.
there you
My
go.
my legal action has been taken care
just
of.
to wipe your hands and just walk.
Yeah,
away.
exactly. We went Broadway. That was a clean.
They're trying to go 2-on-1 right now, brother. I'm fucking losing.
Yeah. Well, somebody who's winning is Bill Apter.
Hell yeah,
out to
he
give
is.
awards. Bill Apter, great story about him. He quit his job, I believe, at Pro Wrestling Illustrated on April Fool's Day, and nobody believed he quit. That, like I said, and knowing Bill Apter and his sense of humor, he fucking loved that. He loved every bit of that. See a Sergeant Slaughter interview right before match number 8. Sergeant Slaughter taking on Colonel De Beers. You would be incorrect in that Kerry Von Erich would be the one most likely to say the N-word. It'd be Colonel De Beers would be the most likely to say the N-word.
Okay.
I was waiting for this moment right here. He would most certainly be that guy.
Yeah. He might say it here. We just
He might say it under his breath a couple of times. Or even loudly.
yeah.
Loudly.
Depends on the environment.
Yeah.
Especially when Colonel De Beers took a bump on Sergeant Slaughter's helmet
Yeah. Oh fuck.
mid fucking match. Sergeant Slaughter being the only one with intro music because that's the only one they could probably use because of copyright issues. And this match ends very shortly because Sheik Adnan Al-Kaisi and the Iron Sheik come up to beat up Sergeant Slaughter. And I find it very interesting because 2 years later, Sheik Adnan Al-Kaisi and the Iron Sheik and Sergeant Slaughter would all be on the same side
Yep.
in the WWF and taking on Hulk Hogan. So I think that was very interesting. Anything else we can say about this match? It's very short, very brief.
Glad it's over.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
all.
much. It did give me a flashback when I believe Diamond Dallas Page ran out there and hit his
Oh
helmet
yeah, he was the
under the ring, which I thought was very odd, but then made me think about all the stuff that wrestlers used to pull out from under the ring. Back when I used to watch wrestling, like you would get like a chainsaw
all the
and
shit.
a
Yeah.
fucking turkey
Hell
from
yeah.
under the ring, like just the most random stuff.
Where do you keep your turkeys and chainsaws, man?
Everything was under the ring.
Yeah.
Everything.
Speaking of pulling out random stuff, match number 9, the world-class tag team titles. The Samoan SWAT teams with their manager, Buddy Roberts. Taking on Michael P.S. Hayes and Steve Cox.
Do it to it, Steve Cox.
Do it to it, Steve Cox. And P.S. Michael Hayes, which stands for Purely Sexual.
Mm-hmm.
Purely Sexual and Do It to It Cox.
Mm-hmm.
Were they also former strippers?
That is the fucking dirtiest goddamn fucking tag name. Writes its fucking self. Buddy Jack, Buddy, I think it's Buddy Jack, but Buddy Roberts, part of the finish, whatever. Dive over the top by Cox. Match was what it was.
Yeah, I like the SWAT machine. I like the SWAT team.
I love the SWAT team too. They're awesome. They're great. Just had the free bird angle with it. Yeah.
I don't dislike the other two. I just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's getting kind of long at this point. I'm just like, fuck, let's get going.
Yeah, much like this podcast is getting long. So
I think it's funny how they're very vague about whatever weapons they bring to the ring. They're just like, oh, he pulled something out of his shorts.
Yeah,
it just looks like a roll of tape around his face.
Oh, usually. A little secret there, brother. Usually is.
Yes.
Oh, well. All right.
Or sometimes it's nothing at all, which we'll get into in a couple matches. But one match that most certainly had a weapon in it is the next match, match number 10, Indian strap match between Manny Fernandez and Wahoo McDaniel, with Tatsumi Fujinami out here. Mm-hmm. And Manny Fernandez calls Tatsumi Fujinami a zipperhead.
What does that mean?
I'm going to show my ignorance. I don't know what that means either.
You don't know that is
I have a feeling you know, Jake.
Again.
That is all
lives matter.
That is a racial slur towards Asian people. And is most popularized during the movie Gran Torino starring Clint Eastwood. He says it multiple times in that movie.
Do you know as to why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not as
versed. Homework there.
I love how you said it and then leaned back like we were all going to react the same way.
Hey, we're like, whoa, no.
It's just you, Jake.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I lean back like, guys, zipperhead.
Yeah. You guys don't know ZH?
Yeah, you don't know about...
You didn't say Jive Turkey.
Oh, exactly. Like, you didn't know. But no, that is a Asian slur.
And you said it so easily and nonchalantly.
It just rolls off my tongue.
It sure does.
It just rolls just much like the N-word rolled off Steve Austin's tongue in The Longest Yard.
The Longest Yard. Yep.
You know what? I do remember that scene.
Yeah, we just did that one on here.
We just did that a couple episodes ago. We discussed that one. But let's
Nelly looked uncomfortable even in the fact that it was supposed to be
even off his dumbass amount of money he got.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he was about to take the Band-Aid
off. Oh, I was about to say, man, Band-Aid's coming off, motherfucker.
Speaking of putting Band-Aids on, these guys would have to be covered in Band-Aids after this match, whipping each other in the face.
So I just want to clarify. So they had to keep the strap on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And they had
I like the way you said that. That was real good. I saw what you did right there. They had to keep the strap on. Yeah, I get you. I know what you're searching on Pornhub. Get the fuck out of here. I know what you're looking at.
Sometimes you gotta switch it up.
Yeah. So you're saying that they were pegging all the corners? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. See what's going on right now?
Yeah, there was definitely some femdom going on between Manny Fernandez and Wahoo McDaniel. It was a different finish than normal strap matches. So, but yeah,
what is the normal finish? Jake?
What is the normal finish?
What is normal in a strap match?
When you're keeping the strap on, when you come to completion,
when the match is climax.
You have the other person pegging all of the corners, while the other person is following around, also pegging all of the corners. And then finally, you get to the last one. There's a bit of a tug and a push and a pull. And a thrust happens where the person behind ends up in front.
Sounds like a stiff competition.
Yeah.
It's hard on everybody. Yeah.
Really is. So, but that's not what happens in this one.
You can't just segue that.
I was going, no, try it. Come on, Jake. Let's see what you got.
I was done. I tapped out. This match gets really fucking bloody, really violent.
Yeah. Also like a porn history.
Yep.
Yes, much like and much like my porn history, Wahoo McDaniel says, I want him dead.
Yeah. That was a strong one.
There's so many blood transferable diseases going on in this match right
just
here.
bleeding all over the
Fucking
place.
ooh.
This is Southern wrestling at its best in Chicago, Illinois in December. So, and because of this, Stanley Blackburn and Vern do an interview saying that they've instructed the referees that if anything gets that far, it must be stopped. We can't let matches go that far because of all of that violence.
Because of the finish to this show.
Yes. Which we now get to match number 11, which is the main event. Jerry Lawler, who is the AWA champion, taking on Kerry Von Erich, who is the Aryan Nation champion. I mean, world class champion.
You're right.
Which is actually very correct because Fritz Von Erich did a German gimmick and would do Nazi salutes to get heat back in the day. So you're not too far off. Once again, see, I'm back in on your theory right here. I don't
even know what it means, man. My dad says it all the time, man. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
One white race, one tower pizza,
right.
one fucking world champion.
Yeah.
And my dad. One dad.
There was one person who I had no fucking clue who they were, and that was they had brought out Al Lanier, a learner.
Okay.
He was WGN radio announcer, and they said his name as if he was a somebody.
Then he would be like the guy that calls like Chicago baseball games.
Yeah,
that would have been probably his.
I'm guessing, but I don't.
Why anyone would give a shit would be for that.
But he wasn't like he wasn't like a play-by-play guy. He was more of like a sports talk guy. And I tried to look him up, and they just said, yeah, he was on WGN. That's all.
That's all it says. Wikipedia, yeah.
There's nothing. It was like
what?
Hey, he said something controversial, or hey, or this, or he was well known, or nothing about him.
No,
at all. Very little research on him.
Just a place he worked once.
Yep. Very interesting story about this match.
Okay.
Is Kerry Von Erich, most people suspected was under the influence. I don't know if you picked that up.
Oh no, I could definitely tell you.
Okay, all right. You understood that. You don't know what an Asian slur is, but you obviously could pick up that Kerry Von Erich was messed up. All right.
Yeah, I see one way more than I see the other.
Okay.
I see way more drunks.
Wrestlers fucked up in the main event.
Okay. To recognize.
Yeah. I haven't spent my time around a whole lot of Asian people that got racial slurs thrown at them.
Okay, and not to give away too many secrets of professional wrestling, but the way that we get blood is there's usually like a razor blade and you cut yourself, and that's where the blood happens, and obviously that happens in this match.
Wait, that was real blood.
Yes.
What did you think? He got like an unlimited amount of fake blood?
Yeah,
no, bro.
No, fuck no. That is real blood.
Yeah. So was the last match.
Damn, in the 80s?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I was saying there's so many bloodborne.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is all real blood out of real people's veins. That is most certainly white blood that is just pouring out of Kerry Von Erich.
White blood.
Pure white blood.
Oh, pure as driven snow.
Pure
as driven snow. Man,
I like a little fucking razor blade just taped to his.
Yeah, and Kerry being a little inebriated, allegedly, he was scratching his arm and was actually ended up cutting his arm with the razor blade.
I was wondering, yeah.
And that's why Jerry Lawler immediately grabbed his arm and hit it over the top turnbuckle to cover up for the fact that basically Kerry had
been bleeding for a minute.
Bleeding for a minute on the way down to the ring. Because that most certainly would give away the secrets of professional wrestling.
Oh, sure. Because I was wondering, that's a very weird place to bleed from. In all my short days of watching wrestling, I've never seen somebody cut their arm.
That inner bicep heat.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Because he was just basically scratching his arm. And
I like the beginning of the match though, where Jerry was looking a little nervous. It was like finding out the one moment when you realize your teenage son can whoop your ass now. That's what it looked like.
Well, he was sitting across the ring from allegedly fucked up Kerry Von Erich.
Already covered in blood.
Talking
about Leaning Towers and Mona Lisa's.
So
sacrificed a goat before he came out there. Or whatever. What do German people sacrifice? There's got to be something.
Jews?
Yeah. Oh, okay, all right.
Jewish people? Is that...
I was thinking...
Oh, we're going to tiptoe around it all of a sudden?
I was thinking something more comedic, but if you want to go that, okay.
Man, you know it's bad when Jake is looking at you.
Yeah, I'm the racist one.
Yeah, what are we going to say next? That Germans sacrifice young girls that write journals, or diaries of themselves?
Well, you got to find them
first. Yeah, you got to find them.
Oh, yeah, I'm the fucked up one here, guys. Come on. Thank you for hopping up on my level with me.
Got you. I'm with you. That's funny. When I play like trivia, Anne Frank is always the answer I use when I don't know the answer.
Anne Frank.
Regardless of the question.
And that's insensitive to them if they tell you no. Trying to say Anne Frank couldn't do that shit? She was
That's
wild?
what I'm saying. The only reason I use it because I used that as a guess one time and it was actually right.
Yeah,
so
hell
like, yeah. Oh, I'm keeping this hot hand.
Well, you could never let this one cool down.
That's a Hail Mary every time.
Yeah.
And Frank.
I found myself staring at Jerry's nipples a lot because he had this hairless ring around his nipples. It was just weird. Am I the only one that noticed
Like
that?
a ton of hair, but then like
But it was like very smooth around the nipple.
Well, that's
that
makes me self-conscious. I want to check my nipples out.
I have hair around my nipples, but like his was like very smooth before he got to like he has
a really nice kept chest hair like flow pattern.
It was
anyway.
like trimmed up.
Yeah, man. You got. What do you mean? Yeah, of course.
Well, this is a big match, man. Like this is like
unifying some belts.
Exactly. And he's carrying the load. He's hitting pile drivers and fucking Carrier's no selling them, and he's pulling out foreign objects, which by the way is really nothing. He's just reaching in his tights as if he has something.
People are gonna react.
And people are gonna react.
I'm just gonna start doing that everywhere.
I wrestled a match with Jerry. Actually, I have multiple matches with Jerry where he would ask me to do that, and sometimes the crowd would bite on it, and sometimes it would. One crowd we wrestled in front of, the crowd really bit on that. And they were losing their fucking mind over it. And we wrestled for like 20 minutes where I'm just grabbing into my trunks, pulling out nothing. But they think I've got something in my tights, and I'm just whooping Jerry Lawler's ass. And they are believing that I'm hitting them with a foreign object and tucking it in the back and then pulling it back out. And they bought into it the whole fucking time. When that magic trick works, there's nothing fucking better than that.
You should have just like grabbed behind his ear, like you pulled the thing out from there.
Why hasn't there been like a magician wrestler yet to do that?
He was Spellbinder, and he almost burned down the entranceway.
He sure did.
Wait, does Goldust count as like a magician?
Nah,
what was Goldust?
He's transvestite. Weird. I don't know.
What they are
androgynous.
Whoa.
He's androgynous. Okay, let's not put a strong label on him. He's androgynous.
He's sexually fluent.
Also in this match, we see an iron claw to the stomach.
Brother, where do you put your iron claws? On forehead, like a real man.
Yeah, like a real man, like a true German would, right on top of the head. Lawler in the ropes. I got all kinds of they call for the bell.
Yeah.
And basically it's a stoppage of blood.
Yeah.
And they're just gonna award the match to Jerry Lawler. A lot of people hate this finish. Where do you land on it, Jordan? What do you like the end of this match?
I thought that was terrible. I've never seen a match ended for excessive bleeding. Yeah, never seen that before. That was weird to me.
Especially if you just saw the last match and everything that happened.
But see, here's the thing. I also thought the blood was fake. So now that I know that it is real, now I can.
Now you're like, stop that goddamn match.
Yeah, but in the moment, I was like,
far?
In the moment, I was like, what? Yeah. And now I get it.
Yeah, but so you're like, what the fuck is this shit? All right. Yeah. Where do you land
on I appreciated it because we did plant the seeds. I hate that we planted the seeds so soon.
Yeah, like back to back.
Right, back to back. Now, we'll tell you that it wasn't supposed to be back to back.
Okay.
It was supposed to be, because this turns out not to be the main event. There's another match.
Yeah, well, the main event sometimes isn't always the last match, but yes.
Originally, Rock and Roll were supposed to be next.
Yes.
And then when Kerry Von Erich cut himself, they made them switch because there was already so much blood. So they sent them on right then. Oh. So had he not fucked himself up, there would have been a little bit of breathing room, but still one match in between is too close for me. So I appreciate it, just I wish that would have happened early, and then that would be something that was left in the back of your mind to marinate, and then when we bring it back at the very end, that's why it makes sense. But I especially since no one wanted to drop fucking belts clean to anybody.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a way to go.
Yeah, like everybody shits on it, but what the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah, like when you say, okay, we won't do that. Yeah. Now you go. What do you want? What do you think?
In general, like just to a person that doesn't like that idea.
I don't like it ended like that. Okay, well then if they didn't do it, how would they do it? You
Exactly.
tell us, random wrestling fan.
To keep fucking Kerry Von Erich strong and
Yeah.
keep Jerry Lawler strong, but we place the belts over here now. Like, how the fuck are you gonna do it other than this way right here?
Yeah.
You know, and this is clever. It's thought out. Is it fucking great? I mean, no. But this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna pay for a return because nobody paid to see this fucking show. So maybe you can get a fucking. Maybe you can actually put like, I don't know, 3,000 people in a 10,000 seat arena next time. But yeah, I mean, I know they'd already kind of wrestled before, so people kind of felt that this could have been the blow off. But at the same time, too,
The way I read it, like they had a bunch of different back and forth matches, and they all ended so like the feud itself was so confusing as to who was the champion with which belt where at certain times because they did it so often to get to this point.
Yeah.
That even going in, it wasn't even like the hottest thing. Like, people were already kind of lukewarm on it.
Yeah, it's very convoluted. I've only seen like the Memphis leg of this feud. I've never seen the Texas leg of this feud. But it didn't fucking matter because in a few months, Jarrett ended up buying World Class and making USWA. And so then it's...
Jerry leaves right after this and holds the belt hostage.
Yes, because Vern Gagne, obviously, there wasn't a lot of money to pass around, so he stiffed a lot of the performers on the show.
Including his champion.
Including his champion, Jerry the King Lawler. But he damn sure paid his fucking son, Greg.
Of course.
And a couple of guys that were longtime vets of AWA, and everybody else got fucking stiffed on the show. So, yeah. That's how that works.
And he also was like, what was it? Greg was also running, or Vern was also running on the same days that Memphis was.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jerry wasn't going to be there for any of them. So he's like, well, fuck you, you're fired. But he didn't get the belt back from him before he said that, so he held it up.
Yeah.
I will say this. I was watching the whole pay-per-view, and I was thinking, Jerry doesn't seem like much of a heel. But I thought he was supposed to be a heel.
See, that's the thing, too. He's like a big... I think he's a big babyface at the time. Yeah, he's definitely a big babyface at the time in Memphis. He was a babyface in Memphis, but he's going against... But when he would go to Texas, he'd be a heel against Kerry, because Kerry would be the big babyface there.
What determines the...
Well, in this situation, it'd be like the Cowboys and the Redskins are both, they're super good guys in their own town, but when they go to fucking Washington or Dallas, reverse, everybody fucking hates them.
Yeah.
So that's the concept with that. Now that wrestling is so televised and you see it everywhere, it's easier to say this person is always this and this person is always that because we all have access to it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just you're here in Texas one week and you're back home the next week, it's just going to go as you go, like an away team playing somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jerry was like an uber babyface because he just won the world title in Memphis, I believe in May or April of this year. So he was a fucking made man at the time. But yeah, so he's trying to serve two different masters, but he knows he's on a worldwide, televised event on pay-per-view. So somebody's got to be the heel in the situation. So he's the better heel than what Kerry would have been.
Got it.
But he also at the same time too, he's got to go back to Memphis, so he can't be too much of a fucking heel.
Got it.
Because then they'll be confused at home.
Yeah.
They'll start booing him there where he makes all his big money.
Yeah.
Because I started writing down, you can even see it right here. I was writing Jerry is a terrible, and then he started talking after he won, and I crossed it right. I was like,
Gotcha.
Now I get it.
Now you get it.
Yeah.
But like I said, we still got one more match. Stud Stable, Rock and Roll Express. Just happens. We explained why it ended up being last.
That was what I ran into Ricky at Louisville Comic Con.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm getting ready to do a podcast of a pay-per-view that you were on. And I was like, this is when it was. And he's like, oh, man. Fucking Kerry cut the shit out of himself so bad. Just blood everywhere. I was getting ready to go out, and they just told me to wait. And they sent him on out, because he's fucking bleeding like a stuffed pig everywhere. It's like, man, fuck yeah. He's like, and that's when I wrestled so-and-so and so-and-so, and we did this and this. I was like, fuck, this is rad. You remember that?
Yeah. And that made it really fucking difficult for this match, and it just came out flat.
Yeah.
But because I just got done with this fucking hot fucking angle and everything, which should have been the fucking last thing to take it all home.
And and the reason, like, if you start to notice, half the fucking crowd leaves.
Yeah.
Because they thought that was the main event. They didn't tell them anything different.
Yeah.
And so when that match ends, people start to leave.
Yeah.
And another reason that was also going quick. And a little other side note, they were supposed to. Rock and Roll were not the champions, right?
I don't believe so.
They were supposed to win.
Oh, okay.
But Ricky no-showed the week before his AWA show. So they decided not to put the belts on him.
So all kinds of fucked up shit going on with AWA, which, like I said, World Class and Memphis merged together. POWW would eventually evolve into something else, and then a few years later, AWA would no longer exist. So this was all kind of like a downward spiral for a lot of things in professional wrestling.
What a shitty swan song.
Yeah, and I like how Vern, who, like I said, he stiffed people and also accused Jerry Jarrett of poaching talent from this show. And Vern's last words, and the last words of this entire pay-per-view, was Vern saying, to all the promoters involved, thank you. Real disingenuous. So
it's about to take all your fucking money.
Yes, pretty much. Or whatever money that is fucking this show. But this is, it's a weird fucking show. And what are your overall thoughts on this whole thing, Jordan?
I think my biggest takeaway out of this whole thing is that you can maintain a working title throughout the entire show and just keep changing the name of a match whenever you feel like it. That's point number one. Also learned through this podcast that acronyms don't actually have to stand for the title that they're associated with.
Yeah. Throw letters out there.
I'm telling you, it's a new world for me right now.
Man.
I'm about to just go crazy.
This motherfucker should start running rooms on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
You don't even know what show you're at. It's going to be like a new show every time because the name's going to change.
Exactly.
Keep the comedians on their toes. I like it.
Powerful comedians of comedy.
CCD.
Yeah, exactly.
CCD show.
Elemento J, what's up? See you there.
All right. PBJ every Tuesday. Zane, what are your thoughts?
Of the whole thing? Or
whole thing.
For it, man. It was fucking stupid and ludicrous at points, but there's some real gems here. There's some real good shit to see. If you're looking for something old and just kind of like where they were right after Crockett or where they were right before they went to WWE, this is a good spot to land on. I don't hate it.
It is kind of a sweet spot for a lot of people. It's like you see right before, like I said, you got some WWE Hall of Famers in here. Yes, and get some of them very early in their career, and you get some of them kind of in that sweet spot.
You get a fucking beautiful ass Jeff Jarrett.
Oh yeah.
He looked, man, that feathered ass hair, that jacket he wore to the ring.
Also, too, Jerry Lawler looking rather spiffy.
Yeah, man.
The jacket, like
I shaved up nipples proper.
Yeah, and very calm too, from what I remember. Because when I used to watch him as an announcer, he was way more. Yeah. He always had a high pitched voice.
Yeah,
always excited about the puppies.
Yeah, exactly. Over
the top, but they're very subdued. He's a champion. He's representing the AWA, a very traditional wrestling company that will end up fucking him over on a payoff. Like, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, watch it.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything better to do.
Yeah.
Like if something cool is on, you want to watch that, go check that out first. But if you don't have shit, you're just trying to kill some time, want to watch some old wrestling, go watch SuperClash 3.
Yeah. I think there are better Jerry Lawler matches, especially heel Lawler matches. This is okay. But I'll say there's not too many better Kerry Von Erich matches.
Yeah, exactly.
Except
for not that good.
With the exception of like maybe some matches with Ric Flair. You know, like you're not going to get somebody who made Kerry look better than Jerry Lawler. So, but there's definitely better Jerry Lawler matches. But I can't think there's too many better Kerry Von Erich matches. But yeah, there's a lot of like weird stuff in here, and it is very much a time capsule for a time when it was just like the last ditch effort to fight Vince McMahon. SuperClash 1 was a group of promoters that were still at the top of their game in 1985, and Jim Crockett Promotions and World Class and AWA. They were still had the talent, they still had the drawing power, they still had the reach to fight Vince McMahon at SuperClash 1, and they eventually just broke apart because of egos, and now you have a coming together again of whoever's left, and it's just vultures fighting over what's left to pick over.
Scraps.
The scraps. And it just kind of fucking peters out. Kind of almost what this podcast has. It's a fucking downer, out of nowhere. But it is most certainly something that belongs in a time capsule. And just this last Hail Mary.
You get fucking early Cactus Jack. Completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
It's super early Cactus
There's
Jack.
a lot of like early career WWE Hall of Famers in here. So it's a nice time capsule for something that was hyped up as going to be the thing that fights Vince McMahon, and it just falls completely flat. And just goes to show, if anything, the fight, even though you said he's a cocksucker, the innovation of Vince McMahon. You look at something from 1988, compared to this thing from 1988, and it is like worlds apart.
Yeah.
And
so this was to Vince McMahon what Vince McMahon is to the NFL. Is that
about to be?
Exactly. Yeah. Like this right here is the XFL of wrestling.
Got it.
So that being said, but anything else? We covered it.
I think we got it, and more.
And more. I think we covered it. It was a lengthy show.
What we lacked in remembering the show, we made up for in other stuff.
Legal battles, mostly.
Yeah,
discussing legal battles.
Yeah, a whole mess of that.
Jordan, you are a performer. You have a live microphone in front of you. Please let everybody know upcoming shows, your Twitter account, anything that you want to let people know to come check you out in all of the things that you got going on in your career and your comedy. And all that
yeah, for sure. So you can really follow me on all social media at Jordan Centry. That's JordanCentry. I have an upcoming show in Gastonia on the 29th at Legends Bar, which has been kind of tricky because the Facebook events have been canceled and then reestablished and canceled and reestablished. So I'm actually not 100% sure I have a show on the 29th.
All you know is you're doing comedy in Fred Durst's hometown. That's all you know.
Exactly. And so that alone is a big accomplishment for me.
Yeah,
so
if Legends is where I think it is, man, you might not want to go. They don't accidentally say the N-word there.
Yeah.
They don't have a disclaimer out.
There's no disclaimer.
Yeah, the disclaimer says don't be the N-word.
Okay.
That's what it would say.
Okay. Anything else you want to let people know about?
Oh, wait. Do they have like a separate section where I have to go get my beer?
Probably.
No, that's it.
That's it?
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
This is great.
Zane, what do you got? You let people know.
What day is this?
This won't come out this Thursday, the next Thursday.
So when you've hopefully you all have seen or somehow saw some of the Freight Train semi-annual Christmas show. I was there running sound. I did real good, I'm sure. I did some lights.
Fantastic job. I appreciate you being there.
I appreciate being there. You got to hear Caleb Conley do some ring announcing.
You were one of the people that I most really wanted to have there because you came to me and like, how could I help?
Yes.
And that's what I want to hear.
Not can I wrestle.
Not can I wrestle. Can I get a payday?
What can I do for you?
Yeah. How can I help you?
Yeah.
Money is no object.
Also, aside from this podcast, you can check out my other podcast, Extra Talented, a wrestling podcast. And I believe the episode that would have just been released a couple days ago is young upstart Patrick Scott out of Charlotte, North Carolina, actually. He's one of Steve Carino's students. He did NXT work against some guys I cannot remember, so I'll leave that part out. But he's a real good kid. He's real young. He just graduated college, actually this past week of you hearing this. So he's got a real bright future. So give him a look. He's real great. Check out all my other episodes. I've got Zeta Zane and George South and Jake Manning, actually. So
yeah.
2 parts of Jake Manning.
Exactly. And I have another podcast as well, 10 Bell Pod. Check that out. We're currently just finishing up. We just finished up Andre the Giant, which was the 3-part series. We'll now have a 2-part series of Bruno Sammartino. And then we will be followed up by probably a long episode of Dynamite Kid.
Oh, man.
Which will be very emotional for me, and I'm sure that one will be a fantastic episode, so make sure you check that out at 10 Bell Pod. I will be wrestling for Wrestling Revolver on December 28th, so make sure you check that out, and that will be on the High Spots Wrestling Network very quickly, very promptly. I don't think it's going to be streamed live, but we will get it up very quickly out in a timely fashion. As always, guys, big shout out to Six Squirrel Studios, Don, who makes this podcast sound okay. That mostly that's not because of him. He would make this sound great, but I send him a shitty file every time via HughesNet.
It's not his fault.
It's not his fault. He does a fantastic job. He makes this just passable.
Yeah.
He does a fantastic job, but I'm sure if you do a better job of your podcast, he will make you sound excellent at sixsquirrelstudios.com. Also, too, make sure you follow me on Twitter at ManScoutManning, or you can email me at jake@sslshow.com or manscoutmanning@yahoo.com. Also, too, make sure you check out howdidthisgetbooked.com. That's where I have my merch available. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube.
Do we have any reviews?
No, I don't think we have any reviews. I haven't had any DMs come in. Thank you, Destiny Edwards. Destiny. She's the Stitcher one.
She enjoyed my thoughts that Leprechaun in the Hood was one of the best movies ever made.
Yes, we didn't do that at the top of the show, but you have not been forgotten. We appreciate your work and following us and being active in the discussion.
Also, quick shout out to, I know she got her shirt because she sent us pictures about it, our friend Ray from Florida, Orlando, where we were in line with her, where we got sexually assaulted together.
Yes.
Thank you for being so supportive to all of our podcasts.
Yes, she's definitely been following everything that we do. So thank you very much, Ray. I appreciate that. So I'll have more. I'll do a better job with the reviews next week.
It's all right.
So it's all right. Whatever. I just wanted to get to the discussion of the Super Clash. But guys, this has been another edition of How Did This Get Booked?